Okay, guys, as you might have already known by now, the BNB is down by more than 12% for the month. And if you take a look at the monthly charts, guys, this is how it looks like. So, from the all time highs, guys, it is going in the opposite direction. And even though the rebound was strong from the July market, obviously, due to the new variant fears, there are a lot of misconception as to where the trend is headed in the coming days. So clearly there is a lot of confusion going around, and especially if you take a look at this month, 14% slide is a big thing, especially for a coin which is as popular as this one, right? So the thing you need to understand right now is what is really unfolding in the market, so that you will know where to place your bets when things get nasty, and something tells me that it is going to happen anytime in the near future. First and foremost, guys, let us start our rundown from the main question behind this entire video, which is, should you buy the trip right now? And obviously 10% decrease in price in any kind of traditional markets would easily trigger a buy order, right? Like if you saw companies like Google or Amazon or Apple, if they're down by 10%, obviously the investors are going to rush in. And I don't even mean to say Russian, they would just flood in, because that is the kind of significant number that is. Like 10% is a huge deal, right? But in the cryptocurrency market, that is not the way things unfold, which is exactly why you need to be on your toes and prepared for the worst in order to make the best, ironically. So in the past also we have seen more than 40% dip in this asset class. So what is really happening with this cryptocurrency? Guys, first things first, it is no wonder that the market right now is in a double top formation, and it is just picture perfect. And even if you dip down to the weekly time frame, you can clearly see that the trend is a bit angled, and the range is absolutely huge, guys, which means obviously the liquidity at the bottom end is very strong, which means zones such as $300 or $350 are very strong. And even on the weekly time frame, guess where the 200-day moving average is? Still, there's a long way to go, and that is exactly our point. So for the trend line touch to be valid, there is still a bit of room, and it goes without saying that the crypto winter is here, which means obviously the BNB is more likely to go down than up. So unless you're dollar cost averaging your entry, which is in theory the perfect way, you might want to hold out a bit longer, because chances of another dip happening is just around the corner. And personally, guys, I feel the weekly time frame sums this trade very well, because it just allows us to see all of the dominant support and resistance zones that are significant in a glance. So on the daily, even if you plug in any kind of indicator, there is a breakout of the daily trend, and the price has clearly refused to close below that equilibrium zone. So obviously we are headed down, but as soon as we start hitting zones such as anywhere between $450, which would be in this region, the accumulation is obviously going to pick up steam, because from the all-time highs, that would be a very significant fall of around 32%. And given the history of BNB, guys, we all know that this asset can easily recover from that kind of falls, right? So that is one thing. And for any reason, guys, if the support region around the $450 doesn't hold, then you need to understand that the liquidity hunt is going to be a big one, which means from the temporary zone around the $450 mark, the balance is going to get shifted towards the lower regions, such as around the $350 mark to $320 mark. So that would be almost a 50% sale on the coin. And I know that 50% sounds scary, but I'm just laying out all the scenarios for you so that you can understand things in the bigger time frame. Like, we're not talking about scalping here, right? We're talking about investing for the long time horizon. So you need to be prepared with both of the scenarios. So just to touch base on things, from 450 to 350 is going to be the region wherein the buy orders are going to be stacked. And if you're someone like me, or what I would suggest is never to use leverage, so that you can be at ease with yourself, because it doesn't matter where the price will go. Eventually the market cap will return, and it will push towards the original trajectory, which would get more aggressive once it dips down certain percentages, such as 30 to 35% drawdown. So wait for a bit longer, guys, and once it's regions like $450, automate the approach. Start dollar cost averaging if you want a little more hands-on approach, or just set and forget limit orders. And more importantly, guys, do not panic sell, because that is one of the dumbest things you can do, especially if you're unprepared. So watch out for that. And once everything is done and dusted, eventually it has to settle down and the noise has to go away, and that is where the real inflow of funds is going to occur, and that is the thing that drives the price back towards the previous range. So wait for a bit longer for deeper pullbacks, and from there onwards our targets is the all-time highs of around $680, and depending upon how deep the pullback is, it is easy to make anywhere between 50 to almost 120% returns in less than 6 months, probably. So that's how powerful this thing is, and that is why you need to keep an eye on it, because the price is just way above the fair value and it just has to correct itself. And when it does, that is where the opportunity strikes. So do not get panicked just because the BNB is down by 12%. Instead, look at the bigger picture and start taking notes along the way. That's it for today, guys. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to shoot them down below. Subscribe to our channel to get all the latest updates. See you on the next one.